Welcome to the Art Equals Freedom podcast show, recorded live from Studio 28, the Art Gallery, Style, Culture, and Growth. I am your host, Stephen Jamal Boyd, aka Maul G. And on the Art Equals Freedom podcast show, we sit down with artists, talk about their art, what inspired them to create their art, and how their art connects to their freedom. On today's show, man, we got a real special guest. This is a brother that I've been knowing for, at least 3 decades now. And proud of the ventures and things that he's been a part of over the years. Let me just break down this brother's bio right quick. This man is a former teammate of mine, a Hall of Fame athletic inductee alum of the greatest high school in Northeastern Ohio, Charles F. Brush High School, a former wide receiver and national championship winner at Ohio State University, former Indianapolis Colts NFL wide receiver, co-founder of the Driven Foundation, based in Columbus, Ohio, where they do countless outreach work throughout Ohio, a high school football coach at Gahanna High School, an intricate part of the coaching staff at Ohio State University, a nationally recognized speaker, a culture leadership consultant, now author of his new book entitled Fight Through It, a father, a son, a brother, and a brother from another mother of mine, Roy Hall Jr.
What's up, baby?
My brother.
Thanks for having me on.
Is in the building.
Yeah. It's all good stuff.
It's a celebration, man.
Uh-huh.
How you feeling, man?
Feeling good. The studio's beautiful, man. Studio's beautiful. Studio 28.
Yes, sir.
It's everything. It's everything.
He knows why the 28 is there, man, for a lot of reasons. He was there for the birth of the 28. But yeah, man. I'm just proud of the season that we both in right now, man. You know.
No, I'm grateful to be here. I mean, as I look around, and it's just a beautiful space, and it's always interesting to be in the atmosphere of somebody's dream, where like you had an idea and a concept in your spirit and your heart, and now all of a sudden I'm sitting in a chair inside of your dream, which is so dope, because you can say, hey man, I want to be a certain occupation. And if you become a doctor or a surgeon or, whatever occupation you want to pick, you don't necessarily always have a space to be in. But when you're creating something and you say, hey, I want this to look like this, I want it to feel like this. And then when you invite people in, you're like, man, I'm sitting inside your dream, bro. That's pretty cool, man. It's just a blessing to be able to see all your hard work.
Thank you, bro.
It's beautiful, man. The space is great. You got your little gold accents around.
Black and gold awesome. Type combination, man.
It's good.
Roy, you was there, bro, from bedroom haircuts, man. Before I became a professional.
Yeah, when you used to mess up people's cuts.
Well, when you used to have hair.
You know what I mean? Yeah, there's that.
When you used to have hair. See, if he gonna jam, I'm gonna jam back, y'all.
But really, it's more that started the hairline going the other way. Is messing with this dude in high school.
Hey, listen.
So it's good though. It's a good situation.
Hey, bro, I was cutting in the locker room, man, and we got some lyrical war stories from that era, man. But it's glad to have you in the building, man. Promoting this book, bro. I've been waiting for this one, man. You've had a journey to get to this point, bro, and to finally get the book off, man. How does that feel?
Feels great. It feels real good. Really not so much for my personal accomplishment, but the stories that I tell, the people that I introduce the world to that mean something to me, that I've had relationships with, it really allowed me to put some things on paper that I speak on often, but I never put it down on paper. And it took a while. I really started thinking about writing a book right around COVID, when everybody was trying to figure out what they wanted to do with their time during the pandemic. I was blessed enough to be able to transition into the virtual world of presentations and speaking. So when you start having organizations and companies say, hey, can you get online and start to teach and coach? I kind of got away from the writing side of things. I thank God for it, because what I would have probably wrote about 6 years ago and the experiences I've had since then and my evolution in regards to storytelling and that sort of thing,
Right.
I was able to put into the book now this year. So I'm grateful for the people that I brought up in those stories, in those relationships. But just having the discipline to say, I'm going to do this and what I believe is the most busiest season of my life, which is usually the fall and during football season.
Yeah.
And so that spanned through basketball season, just entire the sports world in general. So I started writing last August of 2025 and then wrote a chapter or two every month through January 2026, and then the whole editing process, and was able to release it in June of this year.
Sweet, man. Yeah, I mean, and I just want to tell the people, the viewers, that you are our first author that is going to be on this show, man. And I love the art form of storytelling, writing. That is absolutely an art form, man. And you know how you laid the stories out in this in this book, man, is just artistic, man. It was art form, man. You definitely paid attention in writing class, I'm assuming. Like,
sure,
did you go to some writing class or something to?
Did not.
You know, get the techniques down, man.
Did not. You know, but
just from reading?
I got an A back at Brush High School. You said it's the greatest high school in the world.
Come on.
I had an A in English.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
so I was good. I was solid, man. I was solid.
And I actually successfully read this entire book in about a week's time, man.
Allegedly.
Roy was shocked, man, that I finished it, man. And I told him, man, I went to the greatest high school on Northeastern Ohio, Charles L. Brush, where they taught us how to read, man. Nah, so look, bro, you know, on the show, I got about 5 questions. I'm sure we'll dive into some other things throughout it, but let's just kind of jump in, man.
Let's do it.
With your book entitled Fight Through It, what life experiences inspired you to write this book? Like, what was the message that you were hoping that the readers would get, you know, from reading this book?
So the biggest thing is, you know, you start to try and figure out what things do people have in common. And everyone can't share in success. So what success is to me and you know, it depends on the year, it depends on the time of your life on what success look like. It may look like, hey man, being a great dad is success to you.
Right.
It may be having your own business or studio. And we can relate to some degree to having some wins in life. You can relate to paying taxes.
Live in America.
You can relate to that. But the biggest thing that I think that we overlook or don't want to talk about are our shared experiences in dealing with challenges, dealing with adversity. And so your levels of adversity throughout your entire life, if you looked at it, are like, man, these are some of the things that I wish I forgot, man, because these hurt so bad, there was so much pain. However, those are the moments that gave you the biggest growth. It gave you the most opportunity to mature, to become a better version of yourself, to develop into the person that you are today. If you didn't have those moments, you wouldn't be who you are today. So the goal is, in writing this book, to share experiences of some trauma, some challenges, adversity that maybe I went through and or people that I knew went through, and I'm included in those stories.
Right.
And show people that the mindset has to shift from, man, I'm just going through it right now, man. You hear that a lot. Hey man, how's life treating? I'm just going through it right now. I'm just trying to hang on. I'm hanging in there, you know, or, you know, me and my significant other, are we working through it right now? You know, keep us in prayer. Or, hey man, I'm just trying to pray through this season of my life that I'm going through. And those things are all necessary. They're all just different versions of trying to let you know that there's something happening that you're trying to figure out how to get through.
All right.
And so the mindset had to shift for me, that all the stories that I told, and when looking back and reflecting on my life and adversity and challenges that I face,
Right.
yes, you need prayer. Yes, you need to work. Yes, you need to go through, but it has to be an offensive mindset of, no, I need to fight through this.
Yeah.
It's a battle. And every test and trial and challenge that you have is a full-on battle.
Right.
And most people don't know how to fight because they don't fight. Most people aren't prepared to fight. But when you get struck with a disease or a bad diagnosis, the first thing that they say is, I have to fight I'm gonna fight cancer. I'm gonna fight kidney disease. I'm gonna fight this with everything that I have.
Right.
Now all of a sudden you're on the offensive. Well, if you don't know how to fight and you've never fought, well, what does that mean? Where do I get inspiration and motivation to wake up every day to do what I need to do to fight through this? Because it is a fight. It's gonna hurt. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be challenging. You don't know how you're going to do it. You're not going to, sometimes you're going to feel like you're fighting alone. And so I wanted to put that on paper, and the moniker, the mindset of fight through it changes everything.
Yeah.
Because you know it's going to be a battle. And now it's about how do I align myself with the right people, resources to make sure that I fight through and win that fight.
Yeah, man. Awesome, bro. You know, that first story that you told, you know, and you know, explaining about your childhood and what your mom had to endure with the abusive relationship, obviously that was a seed that sparked something in you, that fueled you through life. It seemed like it propelled you to that next level. So was that the story that you felt like you had to depict in the way that you did? Because it's crazy, you know, you're a brother of mine, man, and I knew aspects of that story, but to the detail on how you broke it down, man, was riveting, bro.
No, I appreciate it. That's chapter 1, and we come out the gate. And domestic violence is a massive issue now, as it was in the late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s when we were growing up. And so to shine light, number one, on the issue, making sure that people understand the significance of it in my life and the role that it played in my life, but also highlighting probably outside my kids, the most important person in my life is my mom. So when you are talking about trying to figure out—
Shout out to mom, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that woman.
So the notion of fighting through, when you have a person to fight through things in your life for, like that's the reasoning behind it. So if you say, hey, I want to live, I got this cancer diagnosis, or I just lost my job and I'm trying to work my way through some financial challenge, who is it in your life that you're willing to fight through it for?
Yeah.
And so I'm highlighting one of the most important people in my life who literally physically and mentally and emotionally had to fight through so many things to get us in position to be successful as kids and adults. I highlight her, I highlight the issue, but I also literally lay out a physical altercation that altered the trajectory of my life because of what I witnessed in that moment.
Wow.
And so what I wanted to do was be as transparent as I could with a story from a kid that impacted me for the duration of my life. And so these battles that we go through, that's the subtitle, the battles, breakthroughs, and beauty of becoming resilient enough to never give up. The first trifecta part of that tripod is the battles.
Yeah.
Like you need to go through and fight through some things.
Yeah.
And so highlighting one of the battles in my life, something that I went through as a 12 or 13-year-old, and how it impacts you through high school and your mindset, was the reason why I wanted to come out with it first. It's transparent, it's open, but it allows the reader to say, okay, man, I got some moments that may not be that exact moment, but this is a moment that if he can have the confidence to share this, maybe I could go back and look at some things that I went through and how can I use that to help people around me? Because ultimately, that's the goal.
Yeah.
Most people don't want to deal with their trauma, not because they're afraid of it, they just move past it. But the information and the intel that you've downloaded when you go through something, when you keep it to yourself, what you're doing is you're keeping someone else in their trauma.
Yeah.
So if I go through this and I got through it, I got the blueprint, the DNA, the full layout on how to get through it that I can pass off to the next generation or somebody else that's dealing with a similar situation.
Man, that's awesome, man. And kind of just before we go into the next question, it's just like remembering meeting you right around that age, man, like around you being 13, right before you were entering into high school. You know, I would have never knew that you were carrying that in that time frame, and just looking at, you know, our connection when we were on the team, and, you know, I'm an upperclassman, you're a lowerclassman, and being that you were so driven at that age. And I tell young men when I meet them today, like, it's another level of drive you have to have if you think you're going to be a professional athlete. You know, seeing how you were able to accomplish that, it's just like, I'm an upperclassman, you're a lowerclassman, and you're reaching out to me like, hey, dude, We going up to work out at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
And I'm like, yo, who does that? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it took me until my junior year for that connection to even come in to, that's what it takes to get to that next level, man. So
plus you was one of the only dudes that had a license, so there's that.
Yeah, I was driving. So, you know, I was like your personal Uber at that time.
The 5 a.m. bike ride is not gonna cut it, man. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't gonna make it happen, man. So you know, kind of going through, and obviously we're not gonna go through the whole book, but you know, in chapter 3, I think you entitled it "Strength is Not Silent." And in that one, you told the story of Mike Kula, man, which I had never really known that story at all, man. Sure. And you discussed the power of inner self-talk. One of the statements that you that really stood out to me in that passage was where you said, "Every thought does not deserve agreement." Bro, I had to pause and rewind that and read it over and over again because it sunk into my spirit. Can you elaborate on what you meant by that, though? You know, just for the people who haven't read that yet.
So as we go by the chapters, because I like to do this, if you want to check out the book, go to fightthroughit.com, fightthroughit.com. It's also available on Barnes & Noble and Amazon if you want to go check out the book. I know we're going to give that information out at the end.
Absolutely.
As people start to dive through, I want to make sure they know where to copy
They know where they might only get to the Mark 5 right now. But go ahead, bro.
Every thought does not deserve agreement. So what is agreement? It's a unified yes. That means you need two different sources. So you need someone projecting the idea or the thought, and you need someone to commit or to make a pledge to align themselves with that thought. And so if you have a thought in your mind that doesn't necessarily align with something that you say that you want to do with your life, this is who I want to be, this is where I want to go, this is the type of job I want to have or occupation I want to pursue, this is the type of man or woman I want to be, this is the type of husband or wife I want to be, this is the type of family I want to have. If these are the goals or the things that you want for your life, your thoughts have to align with those things. Now, if all of a sudden there's a thought inside your head that does not align with the things that you said that you wanted, you have to take a step back and say, do my actions, behaviors, words, habits, everything align with what I said I want or what's in my head right now? And where does it come from? And so usually when you're in fear, when you're battling depression, anxiety, when you're dealing with confidence and self-esteem issues, identity crisis, it's because your thoughts and you're in agreement with thoughts that aren't really your thoughts. They're thoughts that came from somewhere else. But you've made the decision to align yourself. Remember what I said? It is a unified yes with the idea. So there's an idea, I'm not good enough. I don't have what it takes. Life is just way, way too hard for me. I don't know how I'm gonna get this. Man, they said this is gonna be impossible to overcome. I can't believe they did this to me. I can't believe I got fired. All those thoughts, what you're doing is making a unified yes. The thought is negative and I'm gonna align with that. And so it leaves you in that space. And when you have enough unified yeses in your life, when it comes to the thoughts that aren't your own, the thoughts that came from somewhere else, they're in your brain, but they came from somewhere else. All of a sudden you find yourself in a downward spiral. And so you get to choose your thoughts. And you choose your thoughts by saying no to the ones that don't align with what you want with your life. And how do you get those out? Well, what does that mean, Roy? You know, what do you listen to? What do you read? You're literally saying, hey, when I decided to read this book, I had to stop and highlight this and rethink what was going on. What are you listening to? What conversations are you having? What people are you around every weekend? What music are you digesting? What shows are you watching? What things right now are in your life that are aligning with the unified yes on negativity versus you choosing to say no? And so that's what that means, that you don't have to agree with everything that's really in your mind. You could literally watch a TV show that has your mind thinking about things that don't align with who you want to be or align with your faith, that get you offset. And all of a sudden you're like, man, how am I agreeing with this? No, I need to go back the other way and choose to say the word no. A lot of people don't even know how to say the word no. I read this book a long time ago that Pastor G.E. Studdard from Indianapolis, Indiana gave me when I was in Indianapolis with the Colts. And it's called How to Say No Without Feeling Guilty.
Okay.
It's 50 pages and it's this small of a book. It's the little go in your back pocket.
Yeah.
And it literally outlines how people don't know how to say no to people, things, because they feel guilty about it. The same thing is true with your thoughts. A lot of times you don't know how to say no to your own thoughts because you're going to feel guilty about not feeling what you want to feel.
Right.
When it's not about how you feel. It's about the actions on the other end of it.
No, that's an awesome point, man. It when I read it, it connected me back to a book that I read called Don't Believe Everything You Think. And
all white cover, doodle, yep, got it.
Man, that was a powerful read, and it kind of connects to when I'm with the young men in the mentorship program. We talk about, how you got 75,000 thoughts that come through your mind a day. And the majority of those thoughts can be negative. So you got to be that much more intentional, to your point, on focusing on positivity.
And where do they come from? A lot of times
outside sources.
And you're like, how did this thought get here?
Yeah.
Those intrusive thoughts.
Yeah.
When you're walking on a bridge and you're like, man, what if this thing fell down? Well, what about the thousands of engineers and hundreds of thousands of the hours that went into building the bridge so it don't fall? But why do you think about what if this bad thing happened?
Yeah.
And so you
That's
do a
why
great
I don't
job.
watch scary movies, man. Do you watch scary movies?
No, I don't do it.
I can't do it, man.
The last real, and not even the scary movies that like those the jump flashes or jump scares is what they call it. Those aren't terrible. It's the Final Destinations.
Those
that, where like I'm walking down the street and a gorilla's gonna attack me from the zoo, and you're like, man, what? And then you go to the zoo and you're like, man, I'm not even gonna mess with the gorillas.
It's
like,
got you fearful of the gorillas that just want to smile.
It's funny. I brought up a book. You brought up a book. I wrote a book, and we're talking about how do you say no and not agree with things. And one of the first things, what are you putting into your mind?
Yeah.
And so if I read a book like Fight Through It, all of a sudden it changes my thought process, or at least making myself aware that my thinking is wrong, because your thinking ultimately ends in your destiny, because your thoughts lead to your feelings and emotions.
Right.
Always and forever. What you think will make you feel something. Your feelings will always spark and engineer your actions. Always and forever. And once your actions over the course of time get repeated, it develops your habits. Your habits ultimately build every part of your character, and your character is what determines your destiny.
That's awesome.
So your thoughts literally are dictating your life. So if you start to make agreements with certain thoughts, ultimately the results in your life can go all the way back to a thought that you had one day. And so when people try and stop a bad habit, they want to stop the action. They want to stop the habits, but they never take the time to go back to the original thought that produced those things. And so when we talk about even chapter 1, where I'm dealing with trauma and domestic violence, what was I thinking then? What was going on in my life that motivated me throughout high school? You had no idea that my thinking is, I saw my mom get punched in the face and broke her nose immediately by a grown man.
Right.
And I wasn't there to be able to help her the way that I wanted to physically. So the only way that I can alter that is for the rest of my life, figure out a way to protect my mom.
Yeah.
So now I'm motivated different because of that one thought. And if that doesn't happen, maybe I'm not motivated at 5 a.m. You see what I'm saying? This is why we need the battles to start working towards the breakthroughs in our lives.
Man, that is amazing, bro. And I don't know if it was in that chapter or another, but this kind of segues into the next question, because you broke down one of my favorite verses, Romans 8:28, where all things work together. So even in that negative state that you were in, look how you flipped it. And it's a part of your life's testimony, man, but how you took that negative incident and flipped it into something positive, bro. But in chapter 7, you talk about Devin Bogart. Did I pronounce his name right? Bogart.
Yeah.
And all the adversity that
from
he
Glenville
faced.
High School.
From Glenville High School.
Yeah,
Okay. What year did he come out?
That was probably 12 was his first year at Ohio State. So he graduated like 2011, I believe, from high school.
Yeah, man. And how, repeat failure after failure after failure. You know, how many injuries did he have to fight through?
Three
man?
ACL tears.
Three ACL tears, man.
Yeah.
And he was still a part of the 2014 championship, though.
Yep,
he played in that
title.
game?
Yep, won a national title. Yep.
Wow,
Yep.
man. So, I mean, his story, you know, how you broke that down was amazing, but then to find out, you know, tragically what happened to him at the end, and then, but how he still didn't allow that to stop him from pursuing his purpose, right? And so, you know, the whole concept and taking adversity, but then allowing it to propel you into purpose, man.
Sure.
You know, break what you feel like about that story and propelled you to, you know, make that a part of this book, man.
Part of the title, outside of what I mentioned early on, was Devin's story. So Devin,
you tied his story into what's my other brother's name?
Dwayne Haskins.
Haskins, man. His story was powerful too. But
so,
go ahead.
The last 13 years, I've served as one of the team reflection leaders for the Ohio State football team. Essentially, I'm one of the team chaplains. I get to work with the players and the coaches week in and week out. I'm there during the week. And then I also give messages before the team meal on Fridays and then also on Sundays before the team meetings. And so I give about a 15-minute message or so that's faith-filled, motivational, inspirational, pre-game speechy, all baked into one. Well, in those moments, not the speeches, but working with the guys throughout the week, you build real relationships. Like, I am not there to help anybody play football. Like, that is not it. However, if building your faith, encouraging you to work through those battles that happen throughout the season, the pressures of being a D1 football player at Ohio State or coach or whatever it may be, if I can help you do that and that helps you become a better football player, then praise God. Well, the relationships are authentic. So guys will reach out to me either during while they're still playing, or a lot of times after they get done playing ball or while they're still playing in the NFL, whatever it may be. Hey, what does life after football look like?
Yeah.
Devin was one of those guys. And on October 12th, 2021 or 2020, so we pushed past the pandemic. You know, he's coaching in Northeast Ohio up here, and he, you know, high school football coach, linebackers coach, and working out and helping out the team and being mentors to the kids. He calls me one day or texts me and says, "Hey, Roy, this is Devin Bogard. I really could use your help." And that was the first thing that stuck out to me that most people don't want to do, is to reach out to somebody and say, "I need your help." It's one of the most powerful phrases that you can say. I need help. There's "I love you." There is "I thank God." "I receive Jesus as my Lord and Savior." And then there's the "I need help."
Right.
You say "I need help." Whoever you reach out to, what you're saying to them is, I trust you enough with this thing that's going on in my life, and I really can't fight this battle by myself. So he hit me up, sends a text, "I need your help. I love what you do with your Driven Foundation. I love how you give back. I want to do something similar. I got some ideas and some questions. Can you hit me up?"
Right.
So I sent him a text, "Hey, good brother, let's get on the phone. Let's talk." We talked that night. That's another point. Make people that are important to you a priority.
Yeah.
Make people a priority. And we said on camera, we just drove 2.5 hours up here. I got my brother Nathan behind the camera, who's the best videographer in the entire world.
Yeah.
A wedding videographer, that's his skill set, but I'm his only person that he rocks with in setting up moments and atmospheres like this. 2.5 hours. We're going to do this for an hour, and then we're going to drive 2.5 hours back, because you are family and my brother. And I said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make it a priority. There's other things that he can do, other things I could be doing, but it's worth it to me.
Yeah.
You make people who are important to you a priority.
Yeah.
And so we get on the phone, we talk for like 2 hours. No different than we could do this podcast for 2 hours, but we're going to try and keep it to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And we talk, we get on the phone, man, I'm giving them all the ideas, the blueprint. That's the other thing. People who are successful are never threatened by other people trying to do the exact same thing that they want to do. They'll give away the blueprint. They'll give away the ingredients. If you want to be a speaker, a writer, author, a chaplain, a high school football coach like I am, I will tell you exactly how to do it, and I'm going to help you get there, because you are not a threat to me.
Yeah.
Someone else's success and or goals or dreams are never a threat to you. Most people want to keep the secret sauce. I'm going to give it to you. Why?
Yeah.
Because I am the person that God's called to do this. You are not a threat to me. Anyway, so I give him the game on it. He's thankful, man. He starts to implement it. We get off the phone, he implements it, does it. Like he's getting his master's. He becomes more than just a high school football coach. He's like trying to be the strength coach.
Yeah.
He's starting his program. He's being a good dad. He's implementing the program. And on October 12th, 2021, I get on the computer, wake up on sportsillustrated.com or whatever it may be. Headline comes across. Former Buckeye Devin Bogard dies in apartment fire. 365 days to the day, a year to the day. Wow. I look on my phone because I couldn't believe. I looked at the date. I checked the phone because immediately I want to send him a text.
Right.
It's a year to the day he passes away in an apartment fire. Now you talking about a linebacker. You talking about somebody who's tough, who's strong. And so when they started coming out with more articles, you read that when they opened the door, they saw Devin right on the other side. They said the fire started in the front room. He was in his bedroom. So what does it take to go from the bedroom to the front door of your apartment? What does it take in the dark, the soot, the smoke, the fog, coughing, adrenaline rushing, like heart beating, panic, fear, thinking about your son, you're thinking about your mom, your family, right, what you want to do, all the people you impact. You look at all those things and you talking about, are you just walking? Are you walking? Are you crawling? Or is that a full-on fight to go from the bedroom, fighting through furniture, can't see, can't hear, don't know, adrenaline rushing, trying to get out?
Yeah.
Trying to get to the door, like with everything that you got, knocking over stuff, and you just get there. So in that story, I talk about, number one, every day is a gift. Tomorrow is not promised. Time is a treasure. And we have to honor the time that we have, the 25,000 breaths that we have, inhale, exhale every day, the 107,000 heartbeats that every average human has every day. Every moment, every second that you are on this earth is a gift.
Yes, it is.
You start there. But then it goes even further, that you have to have something in your mind that no matter what you're facing, you are willing to fight to get to that door. Because the door that you're fighting to is not just a door to get you safe and get you out. The door that you may be getting to is maybe to get you out, or also maybe to let somebody else in, depending on the circumstances.
Right.
And so there are people that are depending on you in your life to fight through adversity. And so for him, when you set up your life, which is another chapter, life is not about you, it's at the back end of the book. But when you set your life up in a way that you go in and out of your day, your occupation, where you know you can help change a life, save a life, alter a life with what you're doing, and you pursuing purpose and really walking out the best parts of you and fighting through your own adversity, it makes it worth it. And so for Devin, when you say, I want to help young people, no matter where I've gone through, 3 ACL tears or all these other things, I can use those things as leverage. The theme is the exact same.
Yeah.
Use your battles to catapult you into breakthroughs.
Yeah, and those are the perfect people to pour in, somebody who's been through some adversity. I always say, you know, when it comes to my pastor, right, I don't want to go to somebody who ain't been through something. You know, you want to hear from somebody who's felt some adversity in their life and then overcame it. Something else powerful that you said, though, was, you know, just talking about not gatekeeping, essentially.
Come on.
You know, and I think a lot of times people don't ask for the help because they feel like somebody's going to gatekeep on them. But, you know, what you unlock is the power of releasing that information. And then something else that you pointed out in the book was about, you know, the collaborative effort that can come back around with that, because once I've empowered you, now you're a resource. And you've done that. Let me publicly give you your flowers for doing that for me with the Junior Barnes Foundation. I remember making that call to you about, you know, wanting to start the Junior Barnes Foundation, and you drove from Columbus to Cleveland. We sat down over lunch, and, you know, you gave me all the game, bro. Yep. And, you know, even though we brothers, you didn't have to do that like that, man. And it was so much information that we're still using to this day. And, you know, look, we're collabing right now.
Absolutely.
So that's the beauty in, you know, not holding on to that information and empowering somebody else with it.
That's the piece. Like, no one's a threat, and I'll repeat myself on that. Like, you're not a threat to me. No one's a threat to me. The only threat to me is me. And if I'm a light on this earth and I'm supposed to be shining, if I collab with another person that I feel like is a light, that light is only brighter. And so if that light is brighter, what we're doing is illuminating dark areas. That's all we're doing. Lights plus another light makes things brighter, right? And so that's why if you're going to label yourself as that, as a light. Right. Versus like, man, I'm a therapist, or I'm a football player, or I am an entrepreneur. All these are man-made given titles, but God talks about being the salt of the earth and then in the light of the world. Like, that is who I am. So I am listen, if you got $100 million, praise God. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That doesn't make me envious. I don't want your 100 million, because if God has it for me,
what's for you
to
for
not
you.
be in the NFL, like, I'm in the NFL for 4 years, got 1 catch for 9 yards on my whole career. But if I had been a 14-year All-American or 14-year Pro Bowl player or a Super Bowl winner and all these different things I could have been, this life right here, this book isn't written, and we don't have a resource that people can use to change their lives. So there is no competition except you, right? You do what you do at the highest level that you can do it, and just watch God bless it. And then you don't have to worry about holding off information. That is the absolute worst. It would literally be like having a child that's trying to get their driver's license, and you have to teach them how to drive. And you're like, no, I'm good. You got to figure it out.
Man, listen.
Or I can teach you and show you and make sure you don't get into an accident. This is what a blind spot looks like. This is this. Don't go this. Don't travel down this road when you're doing. You give them as much as you possibly can so that they don't wreck. And so life is no different. Why would you want to do something that I'm doing and I allow you to wreck because I'm threatened that you're going to go faster than me with a better car? No, thank you. I'd rather just give you the information.
I feel that, man. Shout out to my daughter Kai today. She takes her driving lesson and her driving test.
There you go.
And we're going to speak into existence that she going to get it today, man. She's super nervous. So I felt like that was prophecy over her getting the mails, man.
She'll
today,
get the mails,
man.
As long as you was giving her the game on how to drive.
Yeah.
But I've been in the car with you before.
Hey,
so
man, I was a better driver than you.
It's questionable.
So look, check it, man. We're going to stick on the book right now, fight through it. Bro, I love the writing style in this book. And I'm serious about that, man. I told you over the phone, man, that I would put this in my top 5, man. No biasness to the style of motivational book that it is, because it's not your traditional style where you're just giving a bunch of game on, you know, mental fortitude and how to stay positive. You literally tell stories, and the storytelling style, how you did it, man, was so detailed and intricate, man. So talk a little bit about, what inspired you, or how you came up with the creative writing style that you did with this book. And then 2, what after writing this book do you feel like changed you? Do you feel like it changed you? Do you feel like, you're now, I'm gonna write a book every 2 years. What's the next step?
The style was in my mind. If a movie producer picked up the book, just happenstance, and started reading, I wanted them to be able to say, man, this looks like a scene from a movie that they can actually put together.
Okay.
And so I wanted the reader to have the same experience. I could say, man, when I was growing up, I remember being in the house and this guy hit my mom, and I was right there at the top of the stairs, and it was crazy, and we called the police, and that was it. That can be summed up in one paragraph. Or I could do my best to transport you back to 1994 in the house environment, what I'm listening to, what I'm doing, what I look like, what the house looked like, and allow your imagination to create the story so that you're there with me. Like, I want you there with me because nobody was there with me when I did it. And so I wanted to write it in such a way that it would keep you engaged because of the details, because I want you to know exactly what was going on. I don't want any questions about, man, I wonder what. No, I want you to create it in your mind, and you allow the human brain to create and fill in the gaps where needed. And then you go into this thing happened. Here's what I learned from it. And here's how it applies to your life. So I end every chapter with a 1-page recap / almost like devotional.
Right.
I invert the pages. The pages are black. The text is white because it signals this is the end of this. And even if you didn't read the whole chapter, this 1 page will give you enough insight. And so that's why I wrote it that way. But I speak that way as well. So my coach, Dr. Villari Humphrey, taught me the art of storytelling, where you have to inject the person listening to you speaking into your story versus saying, hey, I could say, hey, I was driving down the street with my guy Jamal, and a car cut him off, and he was like, hey man, get out the way. Or I could say, I'm in the car with Maul. We were going down the street. It was 35 miles an hour. This guy flew past us at 65 miles and cut us off. And Maul was like, hey, man, what you doing?
Yeah.
See, there's a difference because I just became you. I literally just became you. You said, hey, what you doing? Like, that is a part of being in the store because people could remember that. You know what I mean? And so you want to pull people. But there's the other side of it is the transparent side. Because in order to be fully authentic and fully transparent in the writing, you have to be able to tell the details that could cause you pain. And so I had to go back and have conversation with my mom. This is how I remember that happening to you, Mom. Can you fill in the gaps? What else happened?
Okay.
And so she had to give me how they got to the point where it got violent. She had to give me, so not only am I telling my story, I'm telling hers too.
Yeah.
And so I had to go back and make sure the details were correct and authentic and accurate.
You did a little extra research into the stories.
But now I have to force her to relive some things and go through some things. And I had to get her permission. Hey, are you okay with me telling this story before I even get into it? So I think there's a part of it that brings the reader into it, but that's a part of fighting through it. A lot of people can't tell their story. A lot of people can't tell their story because they have not fought through their story. So they're still going through it. So now it's, man, I don't want to talk about what happened. It's too painful.
Yeah.
But what are they communicating? Well, that pain is still with them. And if they're carrying that pain in their left hand and their right hand is free, what could God use with that open hand if it was open, but it's still carrying that pain?
Yeah.
So a part of going to therapy, going to counseling, a part of doing those sorts of things allows you to unpack it so that when it's time to tell it, you tell it from a place of power and not pain.
Yeah. And that's what I witnessed a lot of people do with their trauma. They bury it. They store it in the back of their mind so that they almost can try to forget it.
Right.
And really, it doesn't allow you to heal, and it doesn't allow you to get on the other side of it.
So listen to this. So the chapter 1 is called "What Buries You, Builds You." So eventually, I use a analogy of a seed, dirt thrown over it in the darkness, and then you grow out into this plant, this powerful plant. You need those moments of things burying you or feeling like it does.
Right.
The same is true to your point about pain. When you bury it, it's going to build and it's going to come out. And it could come out in anger. It could come out in insecurity.
Yeah.
It could come out in violence. It could come out in drinking. It could come out in gambling and alcohol. It could come out in feeling abandoned all the time. It could come out in weight gain. It could come out in weight loss. It could come out in broken relationships. It could come out in everything that you do goes to crap because you are self-sabotaging, not even knowing it.
Right.
And so it's the same thing with pain, man. So the second part of your question, though, like, I don't think it changed me. All it did was take what I do now verbally and put it down on paper to where it can live forever.
Okay.
And so now where certain audiences may have heard these stories, if you catch it on social media, if I decide to post, or if you're in a room where a company that hires me, or if you're in Arizona, if I'm travel to Arizona, I speak to a group out there, they know the story.
Right.
But everybody doesn't. Now it gives an opportunity to do that. But if anything, it put me in position to think through, to your point. There are so many stories to tell about people that I know, people that I'm close to, other things that happen to me that I don't even hit on, that I can keep that going as long as people feel it's a valuable resource and tool for them.
So we got to fight through it. Part 2 coming?
Oh, it's gonna come.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. It's a part. It's a part
Same
2.
title, or are you gonna flip the title, or how?
I don't know yet. I don't know, but the thought of still fighting through came to mind.
Okay.
But knowing me, I'll probably change it up. And have something similar in regards to the storytelling aspect of it. Hopefully and prayerfully, you know, somebody does pick it up and say, man, I can do a little high school play off of this or something.
Yeah.
Like, it would be dope to have that happen.
Nice, man. So fight through it, man. We're on the Art Equals Freedom podcast show, and on the Art Equals Freedom podcast show, we do a little segment before we close and kind of wrap this thing up called Freedom in 60 Seconds, right? So you being a nationally respected speaker, I need you to tighten this one up. 1 minute is all you have. I'm gonna put you on the clock. 1 minute
I don't need the clock.
to answer this question. What does freedom truly mean to you? I'm just gonna leave it at that. What does freedom truly mean to you?
No more chains. Having the ability to be yourself without caring about somebody else's opinion. Having the courage, the confidence, and the conviction to fully walk in God's purpose and will for your life. And making sure that He is the architect, He is the navigator, He is the system, He is the earth, He is the foundation. He is the very heart of everything that you do.
Yeah.
And when you understand that you represent that type of power, you can say what needs to be said, you can do what needs to be done, you can overcome what hasn't been overcome, and you can do the absolute impossible. That is full on freedom. I got the power of heaven backing me up, and He put it inside me, and I can go out and use it at any time I choose to. That allows you to be free. You can say what you want, do what you want, and nothing is impossible. Come on now.
I think you did a minute 5. I don't know, man. You may have went a little bit.
47 seconds.
No, that was beautiful.
Yeah, I already know it was beautiful.
For freedom in
that
60
came from
seconds,
heaven. That's
man.
the Holy Spirit, baby. Come on.
Freedom in 60 seconds,
Come on.
man. That is awesome, man. No, that was a great one, bro. We're gonna tie that question, then the freedom in 60 seconds, into this last final question. Then we'll tie up some loose ends. You know, we believe that creativity is healing, you know, here though, you know, and I love everything that you said relating to allowing God to inspire everything that you do in your life. And so we're going to say that God is going to inspire your creativity and through your healing. But do you believe that, you know, telling your story and telling these stories in here was a form of freedom for you? You know, do you feel like, you know, you accomplished freedom through this book right here?
It certainly was freedom for me in regards to doing something that I've never done before in writing. So there's that part of freedom. Like, there's a level of, man, are people gonna like it? That whole thing, that those thoughts that I told you about, I'm able to recognize, like, that's not even my thinking, because I'm walking in a certain level of power. God told me to do this. It doesn't matter if one person like reads it, even if it's just me.
Right.
It's gonna be what it's supposed to be.
I know that's right.
But the healing piece, I was able to tell those stories because I've healed through those things. I think the freedom that came from writing this book was the freedom and letting out the stories of other people who are like just awesome individuals in my life that touch me and reach my heart in ways that not everybody does, and have had the ability where sometimes some of those stories, people forget who these people are, forget what they did. They don't even know half of them. But it just reminds people of the people that are important in their lives. And so the freedom part for me, the healing part, the freedom part for me is telling their stories and letting these out to remind other people, like, wow, I got somebody that reminds me of a Devin Bogart. I know somebody that I lost tragically, like Dwayne Haskins. Man, I grew up in a household and it was challenging, man, just like you. And so that's the freedom part, where it allows other people to be free enough to let those stories out and to heal through the things that they're going through. No,
man, that's awesome. I definitely, you know, was inspired also from the forward that Coach Ryan Day, you know, put in here, and, you know, him telling his story. I'm sure, you know, him doing that was a form of freedom for him, you know, healing for him, you know, going through the process of, you know, just grief is a deep thing, and you go through life, you know, and elements of grief, but how he handled and talked about, his father passing, man, was a powerful story connected in here, man. So
yeah, death is one of those things, a part of life that a lot of people don't like talking about, until it, pops up on Facebook and people are like, man, I'm still remembering you, still missing you. And those things are so true. And so I like to put it out in the forefront. And it's real. And when people have tragic things and loss, when they reflect on it, it could be a powerful tool to help other people get through. Coach Ryan Day's dad took his own life, so he committed suicide when he was 9 years old.
Yeah.
And so he immediately starts writing about that. And I think a lot of people can relate to those things or know someone who's been in those moments. We got a lot of young people now taking their own lives, people in different industries, police officers, like their rates through the roof on, like, it's just a lot of people, nurses, people in the medical field.
Yeah.
It's a stressful time to be a human. Being a human is hard.
Come on.
Man, it's life is hard.
Yes, it is.
And that hence you have to fight through it. But the back end of the book, the battles, the breakthroughs, and the beauty, how beautiful is it now to be able to tell some of these stories of the breakthroughs and overcoming adversity. And when everyone looks at their own life, man, this is a beautiful thing that we fought through and made it through that. And that's what you want to have happen. And so I'm thankful to Coach Day for taking the time to write that forward, because he didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
But it just talks about the relationship that I have with him and that team, to be able to trust in the words that I was putting on paper to put his stamp of approval on it through actually participating in the process.
Oh, man, that's awesome, man. I know how much Ohio State values you, your spiritual covering. And, Ryan Day had you front line, toe-to-toe with him, man, while you were going out there for that Michigan game, man, and they got that dub. So, I'm sure, and even the story you told about, I think, was that the game or was it another game you were telling the story about when after the game he prayed for the strength. He wanted the strength.
Yeah, that was a Texas game. That's
that
in
was
the
a
book.
Texas game. Yeah, the Texas game.
That's in, I think it's chapter 4.
Yeah, don't give it all to him. Don't give it all to him.
It's faith that doesn't flinch. That's in there.
The faith that doesn't flinch. That was good, man. The story of Urban Meyer, the story of Tressel, man. Like, all of them were awesome stories. Tell them where they can get the book again, man.
Oh, again, Fight Through It, fightthroughit.com. Fightthroughit.com. Matter of fact, I'm going to look over here. Fightthroughit.com. Barnes & Nobles, Amazon, type in Roy Hall Jr., Fight Through It, or you can go to fightthroughit.com, grab you a copy. You can also walk into any bookstore, and if they don't have it on the shelves, just tell them, like, hey, this is the book I want. They can order it for you. Go pick it up.
And if you're in Cleveland, Ohio, you can come to Studio 28, the art gallery. We got a limited supply of copies. I'm sure these going to be gone by the end of the week.
Autograph copies, too.
Oh, do you autograph them, too? Man, listen,
autograph
man,
copies.
You can get your official autograph copy here at Studio 28. So, Roy, man, I greatly appreciate you, man, taking the trip. Nathan, you as well for making this trip up here. I don't know, man. You setting the bar real high today, man. So I might have to see if I can get Nathan back down here on another day, man.
He's not driving up without me.
He gonna drive it out without you.
He's not doing that.
Gracious, man.
You get a local artist to come in and understand the caliber that you're trying to operate at.
Yeah.
I know you signing off, but again, it's been an honor and a privilege to serve in this capacity next to you. Thanks for inviting me into your dream, man. It's beautiful.
Thank you, bro.
I know you've overcome your fair share of adversity across the board throughout your life.
Yeah.
And it's just awesome to see you flourish in this role. I believe if you keep operating at a level of excellence with your podcast, the guests that you choose, the way that you flow and function and use this tool, it can be empowering for people and powerful to help people just overcome their lives and live free.
Thank you, brother.
Love, peace, and freedom, baby.
Yes, man. Hey, listen, do you read it? Love, peace, and freedom, y'all.
Yeah.
Exclusively here at Studio 28, Art Gallery, Uhuru brand. No, man, Roy, man, listen, bro. I love you, bro.
Love you, too.
I got to tell that on camera, man, because it's been moments, and as busy as you are, man, where I've reached out to you, man.
Yes, sir.
For encouragement, man, because I've seen your battles, I've seen your journey, and I know that you're not a gatekeeper, and that you will help a brother, man, go to the next cause, and that's what we need in life. That's what we need as a society. If we all, try to give that helping hand and, try to, just show love. I think we're gonna be in a better place, man. But there's so many great tools in this book, and I pray and urge that the people go out and check it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, signing
Appreciate
off.
you, brother. You got it,
Studio
man. Peace
28,
and love.
man.
Yes, sir.
That
Yes,
grip
sir.
is strong, man.
Hey, come on, man. That's crazy.
What you lifting now?
Crazy. Hey, man, we still getting after it. A
still
little
get up?
running, a little lifting.
This
You
dude,
know,
man.
Yeah, a little running, a little lifting.
Don't stay with it. Peace and love, y'all. Signing off.